going to be a slightly different one from the ones we've been doing. The whole essence is a practical demonstration of how I decide between, in this case, I've picked companies in the same industry. So hopefully it will give you practical insight into how I make my investing decisions, and not just me. That's the key, the good part of it. This is an approach that's boiled out of many different readings, books, courses, even academic courses. So it is my own distilled way of expressing all that I've learned across different resources. You know, the interesting thing is, I hope I have not closed my screen. I still even bought a book this week on stock investment. So it's something I make money from, and it's something I also teach people professionally on financial modeling. So I have a lot more vested. Half of, did I say half? I think more than half of all my money are in stocks. So I can't afford to do things wrongly. And that is my disclaimer, that I'm fully leg, head, hands into this. So anything I'm saying, it's a lot from my own personal experience, but I'm not trying to sell you onto doing something. It's just to explain academic knowledge purposes. So that said, we're going to start right now. And the tool we are going to use, is this. So it's supposed to be a one-stop tool, somewhere you go and you are able to do all what I normally do in picking stocks. Okay, so I built it myself, so that is why it's a lot easier to use in terms of I built it to have everything that I want. Let me put that in the chat box. This is the tool we are using. Okay, so I click on the link, I go to the tool. Okay. So what's the decision we want to make? The decision we want to make is between these companies, right? Conoil, Eterna, Oando, Total, right? So in deciding which one to go for, right? We need to go on this page. When you have opened this link, you go to the part that relates to the stocks analysis, the way you're going to be able to pick the company you want. So there's this one, but because we want to do comparison, not just on the stock prices, but also on how they've been performing, you will not stop here. You'll go to the next page. So here is for price analysis. We're going to come back to this one. So normally you want to check what the, let me open like a writing material. Okay, good. Whiteboard. Whiteboard. Good. Good. And draw. So the stages you go through, right? And if I list out the companies, there's, first of all, you want to check out the fundamentals. You want to check out revenue, who is doing very well. Profits, who is doing very well. You want to check out assets, who is building assets, right? You want to check out cash flow, who has a better cash flow, okay? Before we start going to other things, right? So let's say who is the winner? Let me put it this way. Then we'll now talk about the right time to get in. So let's start with, that means that you're not going to start with this pricing first. You go to the next page. So here you can, this is supposed to be like a table format of the financial statements, but this will not help you to do comparison. This is good if you are doing research. So we build this one more for people who are doing research, who need the figures, and they can just click on export and export the figures. They can come here and pick a company and export the figures. But for you, what you want to do is a visual comparison. So we go here. So this is where you are going to do most of your work. This page 6. So let's start. The companies we want to compare are Conoil. So I go here. I search for Conoil. In fact, I remove everything. I look for Conoil, I pick Conoil. Which other company are we looking to do? Eterna. I go here, I pick Eterna. Okay. Then Oando. So I go, I scroll, I pick Oando. Then Total. I come here, I look for Total, I pick Total. So if you can see my screen, let me try and make this full screen. F11 should do that. You will see that Conoil is the first in, I think this is gray, then Eterna, then Oando, and then Total. Okay, so what are the different points I said we are going to check across them all? We are going to revenue. Who has the consistently growing revenue? Who has been consistently growing revenue? So what do? We come over here. I scroll till I get to revenue. I get to revenue. Good. And then we compare. This was 2012, then all the way. Let me ask you so that it doesn't look like I'm putting words in our mouth. If you look at this on the screen, if you look at this revenue, this graph, this bar chart, who do you think has been growing revenue? The key thing is growing. Growth is what you are buying into, not the who has the biggest revenue. That's not what we are saying. What we are focusing on, who has been growing revenue, so that when you put your money into that business, you are assured to some extent that that growth is going to, reflect into the future and your money. And oh, my screen is not showing. Apologies. I thought my screen was showing. Okay, let me reshare. Okay, so what about now?
It's okay now.
Thanks a lot. That means you didn't hear most of what I said or see most of what I demonstrated. Let me just recap very fast. So I'm going to exit the full screen mode. I gave us a link. I'm going to share the link again. So this link is where the analysis link is this. So this link is where you get all the information that I'm going to demo today, right? In us deciding between those, how many companies? Those 1, 2, 3, 4 companies, okay? So when you go to this link, you're not going to use page 1. Page 1 has useful things, but not what we want, right? So you scroll at the bottom side to page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. Page 6 is the main page that captures, as you can see, fundamental analysis. Usually when you are investing, deciding in a stock, you are first of all checking the fundamental analysis before you start talking about, is this a good time to buy? Good time to buy, which is what we call technical analysis. Okay, so that's what we are doing right now. We are first of all checking these things of these 4 companies, right? Who has the best, who revenue-wise is growing? Who has the best revenue trend? Who has the best profit trend? Who has the best asset trend? Who has the best cash flow? Okay. So when you go to this page, you pick the companies. So these are not the companies. The companies are Conoil, Eterna, Oando, and Total. So you pick the companies, right? And then we start with revenue. So what do? I scroll on this upper slicer, it's technically called a slicer, but any other thing you want to call it, as long as you know how to use it. I pick revenue. So you have to remember to pick what you want. And so now we are at the junction where I'm asking us, look clearly at my screen. Let me put it in full screen mode. Which company do you think has the best revenue growth trend? Anyone? Anyone? Conoil is the first, the light gray, followed by Eterna, followed by Oando, followed by Total. Then there's an issue with Oando, this fight with SEC. So they have this issue with SEC. That's why they've not been able to publish audited financials for the last 2 years, for 2019 and 2020. So you will notice that their spot is blank. The spot is blank. Okay, so what do you think? Which company has the best revenue profile? Before I go to profit, which company has been steadily growing revenue? What do we think? What do we think?
That light orange. Which company is that light orange?
The light orange is Total.
That looks it for me. I just look like they maintain steady growth, I will think. Or a flat.
So for you think Total has the best revenue profile here? Okay. Is that what everybody else?
For me, I would for Oando, because from 2016 there's been some consistent growth. I believe that's the one beside Total.
Yes, that's one. Okay. So you're going with Oando, you're going with Total. So let's do the. Did someone see another one? Okay, so let's check.
Ils allaient fermer presque, c'est devant l'école.
So, where will you check, right? If you are confused about the two, so in this case, it looks like there's a tie about the two. Let's decide who actually is doing the best. So what do? I go to page 5. I set it to, I think the thing is between Total and Oando, right? So let's start with Oando. Okay. So I'm looking, remember what I said about the issue with Oando and SEC. So you will notice that there's nothing for 2019 and 2020. Yeah, it's not a mistake on our part. That's the reality for them. So what do? It's to take out this figure, right? And then, so let me just quickly take out the figure. There's a fast way for me to take out the figure. And then we can plot it ourselves and see, or take it to Excel and quickly decide once and for all who has the best growth trend. Right. Okay, so good. We were here. going to make this full screen. I'm going to keep using this for the rest of the presentation because this is going to make things easier for me. So let me just quickly re-select them. Conoil, Eterna, Oando, Total. Okay. I go here, I export data. So as what? Excel file here. Export. Go here and open. Good. So I'm going to now, when it comes to growth analysis, right? I don't know if you've been joining our sessions before now. There are two growth. There's the year-on-year growth and there's the year-on-year growth, and there's what we call CAGR. CAGR is both are important. Let me just use the word both are important. So let's quickly do that together. Put them on a graph, pivot table, new worksheets. Have the years in column so that you see the year this way. I have the names here, so you see the company, and I have the value here, so we see the value. This value, I need to change the way it's looking to make it easier for us. So number format, I would say should do comma separator, no decimal point. Okay, good. So with this now, we can try to do some quick growth calculation. Okay, so growth calculation is what we want to do now. Okay, so growth, right? Going to put this here. For year 2012, we cannot calculate growth because, well, there's no last year. So this is going to be equal to this year divided by last year, you know, blah, blah. So as we all know, there is this problem with pivot table that so this is C5. C5 divided by B5 minus 1 in percentage. Okay. Because of no value, this is not going to be correct, right? Good. So this is the yearly growth trend. Okay. We can quickly put this on a chart. Insert, let's put a line chart to it. A line chart. Okay, so a line chart. Okay, so let's see if this will help us now. I can put this up. Take this format axis, make low. So tick mark should be label position low. Good. So is there? So what do you think? Does this help with breaking the tie? So looking at this, Let me take this up.
Total is on top.
Okay, so you are concluding that for you it's total. Let me put this up here. Where is even the Oando? Oando is the Oando is flat. It looks flat, if you ask me. Yeah, it went up, then it came back.
But it has never touched negative before.
Are you sure? Okay.
It has never touched negative.
It's like total is even below where they started in 2012.
No, it's not. To see total here, 500 and something billion, and then 800 and something billion.
Okay, because the chart.
Total at 2015 went negative. At 2017 went negative. So if you follow that trend 2 years after, let's assume that 2019 they were almost negative again. Hopefully by now we check 2021, maybe it may be negative.
Yeah, total 2013 looks higher than 2020.
Okay, yeah. So this is one. If this is not too giving us the clear who is who, there's always the one that breaks the break, that breaks the tie, Kega. So let me compute that one for us. So Kega, let's do Kega. What Kega does is you're looking at that period of your evaluation. What's the cumulative annual growth rate? So Kega stands for compound annual growth rate. And it has a formula. The formula is RRI in Excel. Okay. So we can use Kega. It's one value that will come out when you use Kega, because it's going to try to find for you from the start to the end, on average, how has the revenue or whatever it is we are calculating, in this case revenue, how has it been growing? If it was 100 billion naira, in 2017, and it is now 400 billion naira this year, yes, we all know that it has grown 4 times. But if you break it into yearly growth, does that mean it has been growing 100% each year since then? So that's the kind of thing Kega helps us with. So if I do it equals to RRI, let me zoom my screen. RRI.
Michael, yes. I was just thinking, is it possible to plot a forecast based on the growth rate? Because that also will tell us the possible projections that you can make. That from the forecast, you can see that it's going upward or it is going downward.
That's an interesting one. Just that usually when you are looking at this stage of where we are doing, you want to first of all see what they have been doing, like make decision based on the past. The moment you start doing forecast, you are adding more variable, more things that how do I say it now? More uncertainty to your data, to your analysis at this stage. I'm not saying an outright no, but what I'm saying is that it's very rare to use that approach, because that approach means you are adding more unknown into it. The very essence of calculating a forecast involves uncertainty. It's just like a never 100% accuracy. And then in this case, we want to find out with a certainty which of all these 4 or 5 or whatever number of companies are coming, which of them is the best in terms of revenue growth. So we want something that is very certain, not something where we have brought in another level of uncertainty into it. But after we've decided, yes, one can decide to do a forecast but the moment you start doing forecast, I don't know, it might mean maybe you want to do something more than the usual, because what we are doing is we are trying to discriminate among multiple options to pick our best. So the moment you start doing forecasts, it can be a lot more intense, yeah, but it's possible. It will just be like you might do more than what most people will do in your deciding. So
I was looking at there are some apps that can help you do forecasts. I was just looking at if we have this kind of I don't know if Power BI does that, such that you can just quickly do the analysis for you and you can just see that. I don't know.
even Excel too does. There's a
Okay.
forecast formula. If I just select, if I do equal to forecast dot ETS and I select and I plot, it will do it for me.
Okay.
So all right, sorry. So the number of periods, so periods between 2012 and 2020, that's 9 years, I guess, or 8 years. 2020 minus 20. The number of period is this minus this. Okay. So in case it's looking too clumsy, I think I can do it in my head. That's 8 years. So instead of me writing too many formulas, let's just write it 8 years. So in these 8 years, Conoil has grown revenue from, again, if this is worrying us, let me just remove it and type B5. Conoil, which is in B5, has grown revenue to what? To J5. To J5. So what's the compound annual growth rate? So this one says Conoil has actually reduced. Revenue has been going down, and let's look at it. Yeah, that's correct. So if you look at these figures here, if this is the starting figure and this is the end figures. Right, that is true. So Conoil is not a good company for us based on this revenue trend. If we look at Eterna, so if I just drag everything down, it's only Oando I will have to change because Oando's final revenue is here. So it seems you guys are a bit correct in terms of there's a very slim, there's too many similarities between Oando and Total. So I agree with everybody who chose Oando and Total. So if I'm going to pick one, if I factor in that Oando has stopped, we don't have information of Oando for the last 2 years, so we are in the dark. And darkness is not good when you are putting your money into something. You don't know what is happening. So I will rather go for Total based on just that information. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our stuff here and say Total is the winner. Then if we go to profits, so if I go here to profits, I'm going to scroll, look for profit to be net income. I think that's the way I wrote it here. So great, so net income. What do we think? Looks like one company made a really big loss, and this is Oando, right? So, so that it doesn't scatter the other ones, let me temporarily remove it so that we can see the other ones in a slightly bigger way. Then we can decide. So which company do you think has been growing revenue very well? Is it clear cut? Are we looking confused? Let me tell you how I normally do it, right? So first, yes. Which one?
Yeah, I would have said Eterna.
Eterna.
Generally on the average. Descriptive.
Okay. Okay, anybody has another opinion? So Chibuzo says Total. So let's look at the two solutions. Let's look at Total actually. If you look at Total, someone else is supporting Chibuzo. So a company made 4.7 billion naira 8 years ago. Now in all these 8 years, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9. I mean year 8. Or is that year 9? It's actually year 9. Year 9. The lowest they have made is that last year. That's not a good thing. Huh? It's like every year they are kind of losing profit, like they are making less profit. Okay, so I don't think Total, because in that entire 9 years, Total has the lowest revenue this most recent year. So let's even take them one after another. Let's look at Conoil. Conoil has been going up and down, but they ended up with twice what they had 8 years ago as profits. Okay, so that's a good one. It's not like maybe they made more revenue in 2000 and what's this now, 2013, but it seemed everybody had similar profile of going up and down, but they ended up with more than when they started. Let's look at Total. Okay, we looked at Total already. Let's look at Eterna. So Eterna started with 0.9 billion, 0.7. So Eterna too had that profile of it, slightly went up, then came down, but they are back to exactly where they were. So funny, it looks like Conoil carries the day here. Conoil seems to be the one that has at least factoring the up and down, they ended up in a better position than where they were 8 years ago. In a much better position, if you even ask me. Okay, so Chibuzo said oil price went down. They are in the downstream kind of, so they're a bit insulated because of the, you know, our own crazy way of government fixing the price of crude oil. So profit-wise, Conoil. There's another thing that can help you with the profit-wise. There is also net income margin. It's just that one will reflect almost the same thing as this net income. So I'm going to move to the next one. I'll put back Oando. Then I go back here, assets. So if we go to assets, total assets. So if we look at total assets, who do we think is doing really well? If we look at the total assets, who has been growing assets very, very well? Okay, so you see as of 2018, Oando. Let's see. Do I agree if I double what they had? Okay, yes, that seems really clear if you stop at 2018 Oando. Okay, so I think it's really clear, Oando, for that. Then cash flow. So if we go to cash flow, net cash flow. So who has the best net cash flow? Who has been generating cash from their business? Whose business has been cash positive, cash flow positive? What do we think if you look at the screen? I'm waiting for our answers.
Total.
Okay, so Total seems to have the best cash flow profile, right? Is that what we are saying? So this cash flow, let me see if I did the breakdown. Good.
But can it be cumulative over the
over that period, right?
At the end of the period, yeah.
You are getting gradually into it. Because there can be periods, you can see almost everybody has very, like, they get many cash this year, they spend next year. It's normal. If you make a lot of money this year, You want to maybe expand
invest
next
a lot.
year. So it's just a normal thing, but net whose cash has been growing, that's what you want to see. So there's a tiebreaker, right? So whenever you can't decide clearly from the net cash flow, if you go to the cash flow from operations, this one, cash flow from operations will show you whose business is actually I'm even looking for the one that is just purely operations. Okay, then this is also still good. So if I go here, it takes out money they borrowed. So it shows money that comes from the business at the end. And if we look at this, I think Total has the clear. So that means most of the money you saw Oando have here, in which year is that? Most of the money you see Oando have here in this 2016 was borrowed money. So that's why this one helps us to see for sure which money actually was generated within the business itself. So looking at this, Total seems to have the best profile. Okay, so I'm going to go with Total, the yellow, or what color is this? I'm not good with color. So, but the Total, the one with the last in the list. So Total has the best cash flow. So you can look at a lot more other things, but those ones on the minimum are what you want to look at. When they are ties, then you want to start checking other things, or when you want to be much more granular and like, what about profit, net gross profit, fixed asset. But these ones that we have written here, they're the ones that you must, at the minimum, consider. What are they doing revenue? That's top line. How are they doing bottom line, which is profit, right? What about their balance sheet? Are they growing the balance sheet? Then what about the cash flow? Are they generating cash? So those are the things you must want to compare all these companies around. So these ones we have done now, right? And the fundamental analysis. And with this fundamental analysis, right, we can see that Total seems to be the company with the best performance among all these options for now, right? Yes, in some cases one wins over the other, but when you look at the entirety of all these factors we are looking at, Total. So whenever you do this, you now want to go and look at Total standalone. What do I mean? You go here to page, I've given us the link. Do you have the link? I can reshare it again.
Can I?
Yes, sir. You want to say something?
I wanted to ask, if one wants to make a choice for an investment, and we see that for this particular company, Total seems to have worked well with terms of revenue and cash flow. But you look at another company, you see that let's example Conoil seem to have worked well with respect to profits. Now, what are you may want to ask yourself, what are the determinants for dividend? Is it more of in terms of revenue and cash flow, or in terms of profits, or what exactly that will say, okay, yeah, year on year, the dividend is increasing, particularly here? So that's the question.
Okay, for dividend, it's always tied to profits. Because even in the stock exchange, there's a rule on the NSE. Now the name has changed to G. Is it NSE or SEC? But anyway, on the regulator side, you are not allowed to declare dividends if you made a loss. And then usually companies give a portion of their profits as dividends. So profit is the number one. Then the other thing is cash flow. You can be profitable and not have the cash flow. So sometimes companies borrow money to pay dividend. So this is now where you go to check that, okay, they made profits, right? And this is a company that naturally pays dividends. So that means when they make profit, they will pay you dividend. But then you want to see that dividend they are paying. Is it actually, are they borrowing to pay you dividend? I will show you an example of a company that is borrowing to pay dividends. And I will show you why they are borrowing to pay dividend. So just let me look at the time. Okay, good. I'm going to go to my data warehouse. So I'm going to pick, I think it's Conoil. Now is the year I need to find. I think it's year 2018 or 19. Well, it's not difficult. I'm going to open the 2 years. Okay, good. So feed one full page. Profit before tax. Okay, it is not this. Let me go to year 2017. Who was Conoil? Maybe it was not Conoil. Maybe it's AP then. Sorry, let me just quickly look for, because it will be very clear when you see a real life example. You know, when I say it, you might not really sink in that way until you see it yourself. But it's in the oil and gas, and it's not mobile, it's not total. I kept thinking it was Conoil. Profit before tax. It's not a P. Let me look for Eterna then. Eterna 2019. Sorry, let me find it here. I strongly think it's Conoil. It's easier for me to check a profit before tax. So what happened is the company made loss before tax. Then after tax, they made profit. So you'll be like, how will a company make profit after tax? I don't think it's Conoil. So let me pick Eterna. Let's see. Profit before tax. So it seems it's not Eterna. Which other oil and gas company do we have there? Let me pick. Let me just pick them one after the other. Profit before tax. No, it's not this one. Let's go to. Let's see if double 11 is here. And profit before tax. Wow, can't find it again. But then what happened is the company made a loss, right, before tax, but then they got tax credit, so that now made them profits, right? So if the company is the one that pays 20% or 30% of profit, they were going to pay dividend that year, but they didn't make money. Government tax will never give you cash. You know, those are those kind of money that you will see on paper, but does not exist in bank accounts. You can only net it, they're like tax credits, that's what they call them. You can only use it to reduce your tax next period, like years into the future, but not that they will give you the money. So when you go and pay dividend, you essentially will have to borrow, or if you are lucky that you have your retained earning is very good, you have you already have good cash in the bank, then you might not borrow. But sometimes most companies, they try to keep their excess cash small. So most of their cash is already tied in other things. So you find out that when they need to settle some cash obligations like dividend, and when the profit was not enough, they will borrow. That's why some companies, even though they are profitable, they will be selling commercial paper to fund operating capital, and you will see they are profitable. Why? No company tries to keep excess cash, just excess cash. They try to deploy it to something else. Unfortunately, I can't find. It would be nice. I saw it in a training that I was doing, and then okay, I see somebody's hand. Oh, okay. Did I check Oando? Mr. Tijani, right? Your hand is up. Let's check one.
Yes, please, Mr. Michael. Yeah, good day, good afternoon. Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for the interesting. Yes, thank you for the. I should let you display that.
No,
maybe.
No, go ahead. But I've
okay,
seen the person that said I should check Oando. I've seen an Oando case. So yes,
okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the interesting presentation. I just joined not quite long. Just a quick question. I don't know. I hope I'm not going far from the presentation objective. This data you are showing us, is it the same link you said you have shared with us?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is it a free data or is it something you subscribe every year?
It's free. For now, it's free.
For now, it's free. Okay. Which I'm in the insurance industry. Which industries do you cover? Is it and which market? Only Nigeria?
Only Nigeria.
Only Nigeria. And for now, which industry?
Let's say all.
All.
Because
okay.
actually the idea is to cover all. So it's mostly all
okay. Do you have insurance industry on this list of companies?
Yeah,
they are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, there is like
so Nigeria for now. Covering only Nigeria market for now.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's free for now.
Yes, it's free for now. I think I've seen what we are looking for.
Okay. Nigeria market free for now. Okay, I think I'm fine with that question. I'll get the link maybe from the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
So I've seen one example. If you look at this on my screen, this is profit before tax. Where is profit before tax? See? So for this year, 2016, this company had a very huge loss. Now, see profit net income. Are you seeing that net income is a plus, right? So based on this, they qualify, they already can declare dividend because that's what the rule says. To declare dividend, you must be profitable. You don't specify where the profit must come from. They did not say, oh, your profits must, they didn't give any extra condition. It's just, you must be profitable for you to declare dividend, right? So this is a company that is, they made profit, but the truth is the profit they made is because they got tax, can you see this? Tax credit. That is the thing that is creating that profit. It's not like that the business actually made profit itself, right? So for this kind of profit, obviously it's not the money that year that is paying the profit. Either they have to go and borrow the money or they have to take money from previous years. So that's to summarize my answer for your question. When it comes to dividend, it's profit. But then when you want to check that profit that they are paying part of it to you as dividend, is the profit actually, is that dividend being funded by the cash that came that year, or they are borrowing money, or they are having to dip into cash of previous years to pay the dividend? Then that's what the cash flow helps you to realize. Okay, so let's try to wrap up this session. So I was saying that once you have decided who it is you want to go with, you now want to look at that company all alone, right? So you come in here to page, what is this? So if you are on this, our stuff, that will be page 5. And then you select the company. So Total in this case. And then you want to take a look at everything about the company to be sure that, okay, there are no red flags that You didn't identify because you picked 4 major criteria. So let's quickly take a look at it together. We have looked at revenue, so revenue is not bad. But the key thing here that will help you is margins. So if you look at the gross profit margin, they are dancing up and down, but they are not negative. So we go again to operating profit margin. They are low, but that's typical of their industry anyway. Then we go to the profits, net income margin. Okay, they too are low, and it looks like it's reducing. So it seems that that industry is becoming a lot more competitive and what's the word now? Tough. Let me use the word tough. You know, they are not able to make as much profit as before out of the revenue that they make. Okay. Then you look at the dividend yield, right? So if you are the kind of person that you only want to invest in companies that pay dividend, then this is what shows you what to expect. So for now, dividend yield for Total is 15%. No, 0.15. 0.15 is, how do we calculate this? It means if you buy a share for 100 naira, you're going to get, that should be 15 kobo. This is looking funny. How did I do this? 15 kobo looks too small because Total is actually selling for around 180 something currently. So Total Nigeria investing.com. Let's quickly take a look at the dividend yield. Okay, so that means what I had there is 15% actually. So this is in percentage already. Okay, good. So it's that's very good though. What that means is that you know, you can get like 15%. Actually, Total's share price dropped seriously last year. So I understand correctly why. So this is in, if you are taking it to percent, this will be 15%. So great. Earning per share is high. Oh, someone has even also seen it. So Total seems to be ticking all the good boxes, right? So the other things you want to check are this cash flow breakdown. So you want to take a look at it, especially cash flow from operations. So cash flow from operations is positive and growing. Now that one must be positive. If it's negative, then that's a very, very bad thing. It means they are losing money even in their own operations. You know, so that is positive. It's only 1 year that it was negative. Something must have happened that year. So it seems there are no red flags, right? Which means we can say, yeah, Total is very good. So the last question is this a good time to buy? So is this a good time to buy Total? So that's where we now go to this place, page number 4. So if you go to page number 4, you go and select Total. So you select Total. You can even type it here, Total. Good. I'm looking for price. This might be too busy at a first. So let's start with page number 3. Page number 3 will make it easy. Then we'll use page number 4. But almost what we need are also in page number 4. But let me start with this one so that it will be easy for me to explain. So this is the price trend. So you can see that last year Total price dropped seriously down to 18 naira per share. And right now it's already 100 and something, 200 naira. So if you had bought Total last year, whoa, that's like you've more than doubled your money, you know, 18 naira per share if you bought around this deep, you know, and now it is 200 and something. That's almost 2-point-something times, you know. If you had bought 8 million naira worth, your money will now be 20-something million naira. You know, that's as good as Bitcoin said. So, but anyway, the key thing I want to bring out is the fact that you want to confirm, is this a good time to buy? Are you buying at the wrong time? Okay, so if I narrow down my stuff to maybe the last 4 years, so I see from 2017, let's say 2017 January 1 to now. Okay, so let's see how it's been doing. Okay, so if you look at it, it has recently rallied. Okay, and if we go to check why did it rally, if we go back here, we will see that it's not because of revenue. Revenue did not go up. Let's look at profits. Even profit did not go up. So let's go check, when did the rally start? Was it end of last year or somewhere in this year? So end of let's start from last year then. Last year. Okay, so the rally did not even start it started, all this rally started around this year. Right, then suddenly it started around July, end of June, kind of. So what has happened on Total? So if you go here, or if you go to Total Nigeria, so let's check, was there any new news? So Total Nigeria shares. If you type it and you go to news, it's just that it doesn't work good. Can you see? This is what caused it. So they released the half-year results, and the half-year results is showing that they made, let's look at it together. I saw it somewhere. They made profit of how much? These are some of the things that are annoying me on some of our websites. I'm fishing for information now. I'm not able to. I need to see profit.
Pre-tax profit of 11.79 billion. Pre-tax.
This is before tax. But this is high anyway. I'm even looking for the one after tax. Oh, see, the after tax is in the title. It's not in the body of this. So they made a after tax profit of 8.1. If we go and check it against what it has always been, profit before tax. No, where is that our stuff again? So if I go here, profit before tax. Oh, so that 11 compared to 3 for a whole year, then 11 for half a year. That's a significant jump. And then profit is even 8 billion already. So that was what led to that jumping in price. Okay. So now the thing is, what do you think? Does it look like this is sustainable? Are we thinking that's going to happen again this next half of the year? Are we thinking that this jump is already not overbought? That's the word now. Okay. So is this something that will keep on happening? So that is the question that is going to drive whether you will buy or sell. So this is now where this one comes into play. So this one shows you bullish or bearish trend, right? So green is the current price. Then if you check at currently, the current price is higher than the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, and the 200-day. So it is in a bullish trend. And you will see here, you can see that it's in a very high rising trend. Okay, so it is on a bullish trend. And the thing to say technically is that these are buy signal. So bullish trend means is a buy signal. The only thing that you don't know is the trend sustainable? Like, is this trend something that will carry on? So you want to monitor it. But yes, for buying, this is a good time to buy technically because it's on a rising trend, on a bullish trend. Okay, but you want to be monitoring to be sure. And the trend is just building up. So that's one other thing about stocks, about everything financial assets. It's just like even MMM, though I don't like using it, but I know people relate with that. They will say, oh, it's people that get in at the beginning that makes the most money. And that's it with all trends. Bitcoin has dropped, but when it started rising in December, when it doubled from 7,000 USD to 14,000 USD to 21,000 USD in January, you know, it still kept going up for some months, right? So the same thing too, this trend that we are seeing just started this month. So historically, it will still go, that trend will persist for a while. So this makes it like a buy signal. So if you are going to come here and answer, is this a good time to buy? The answer will be yes. Technically speaking, yes. So that's the end of my presentation. Any questions? You already have the link, right? Let me just
I have a question.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, your question.
You already showed us how to know if it's the right time to buy.
I just finished saying it to that. Yes. What you do is you come here to the page 4. So let me just recap. What we did was, number 1, we went to page 6 to compare all the options. So what we did was we wanted to buy a company in the oil and gas downstream. Anyway, all the oil and gas company in the Nigeria Stock Exchange is only Oando and Seplat that plays in the upstream. So most of these companies are showing here, they are mostly downstream. But anyway, oil and gas in Nigeria Stock Exchange, right? We compared these major criteria as regards revenue, profit, assets, balance sheet, cash flow. And based on all what we compare, we picked that Total had the best performance. And then what did we do? We go to page number 5 and just narrow down on Total alone. Take a look at all the figures, EPS, take a look at everything. Try to spot, is anything looking bad, that you don't want to be caught unawares about? Is there anything, any red flag really popping out? So we checked it and no red flag. In fact, some positive flags in terms of EPS and blah, blah. So then the next thing was, is it a good time to buy? So that is it a good time to buy is you go to page number, you can go to page number 4 if you can read this very well. Otherwise, which is what I did, I went to page number 3 first. So page number 3 shows you, put the company name, it will show you the stock price, how it has been going as far back to year 2000, right? So you will see this performance trend. More importantly, you are concerned about the most recent performance. So this one helps you to see over a long period, and then you want to narrow down to a shorter period. So you see the most recent performance, right? And so I can see that it was really low at 18 naira per share about, this is how many months ago? 11 months ago, in fact, 9 months ago, or is this 10 months ago? And then it has been suddenly going up. But at the start of this month, it just kind of jumped up really, really high from like 145 naira to currently 203 naira. Okay, so the thing is now, is this a good time to buy? It's going up, obviously, but you want something, we call it technical signals. That will tell you buy or sell. In fact, if you go to investing.com, they have a place where they show you those signals. So if you go to, let's even see what their own signal is saying. So technical. So if I go to technical analysis, can you see? Moving average says buy. Buy signals 9, sell signals 3. Let's look at the breakdown of the signals. you can see that all these ones, the larger of it are saying buy, 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 buy. So depending on you, if you are a 1 week trader, it's saying no. For 10 days, no. If you are like a intraday or interday trader, so but the key thing is summary buy. That's what the signals are saying here. Then these other ones, RSI, these ones are based on volume. These are volume-based signals, or mostly volume-based signal, a mixed anyway, a mixture. But these ones are more of price trend. That's why it's called moving average. So it's looking funny, you know. Some are saying sell, some are saying buy. Me, I use moving average because Nigeria is a funny market. Our volume is crazy. Our volume has nothing to do with most times reality. So our price trend sometimes is much more reliable. So that's why you will notice that in the one that I have done, which is on page number 4, I'm doing moving average. And if you look at it and you see, compare with these are the moving average. Even the moving average here too, you see saying buy. So almost all the moving averages are saying it's on a buy trend. And that's what you will notice in mine too. You see that the summary is buy, green, and it's suddenly going bullish. So that's why I said by the trend, it's a good time to buy. That you should buy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the recap. My question now is, under what circumstances would all of these things point to sell?
Not a problem. Let's go and fish for one. So, can you give me another company? Can somebody give me another company and let's pick and see? Can somebody just give me any company?
We can do Oando.
Okay. Seplat, okay. Someone to say Seplat. So we'll do all of them. So let's go to Oando first. Oando 2 is in a buy, so it has suddenly gone up. And their own is even way serious. From 3 naira to 4, almost 5 naira in 1 week. Something is happening in the oil and gas. I need to go and look more at those things. Something must be happening. Is it that they deregularize? Okay, you know, a lot of them have raised prices of diesel and all. And then because of dollar stuff, they are locally produced lubricants and all those other things are. Oh, I think this is a good time to go.
I think there has been already the secretary.
Sir? What did you say? I didn't hear that. So, but this one, Oando 2 is in the buy.
Referring to the SEC settlements, could that have contributed to Oando's own?
Yeah, I guess that
Which
was what contributed within the past 1 week.
Oando settlement, SEC.
Well, they had challenge with SEC.
Okay. Okay. I saw something like it. I didn't read the news completely. Okay, that's a good one. If that's it, then me, I'm not buying. Maybe it's already priced. But if it's due to maybe raise something related to their product, I want to go and buy. Let's check the Seplat. People Seplat 2 is up. Oh. Man, it's like I'm living under the rock. But the owners
might be as a reason of several investments and positive profit margins that they've declared. I think they just declared something last week, or this week, yes, that just ended. And
it's like you're in the financial analysis sector, like you're a time stockbroker. You know all the background stories. Let's check Eterna too.
I just mean the past sector. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, Eterna one is bullish. I mean bearish. So if you look at Eterna, so it seems Eterna is not. Let's look at it. There's a recent cross between, in the last 1 week it has gone up too, but it's still in a bearish trend, but it seems like it's bouncing out of the bearish trend because it has crossed. This is what we call by a cross. If you look at it at this point, the price, if you look at the blue 20-day moving average, that's the short-term trend. Suddenly the price has gone above the short-term trend and has even gone above the 3 months trend. It has even gone above everything. It has gone above, so it's also rising. So it seems there is a bullish trend in that industry right now. So if I look at my graph here, if I zoom out, the red is almost turning to green back. You can see the red is reducing. It's in the by next week it will most likely maybe turn to green because that's what is happening already. Okay, so it's already, the bearish is going off, it's turning bullish. Adova, let's look at Adova. All of them are going up. Something is happening in that industry. Even AP has gone up. Let's go to another industry. Let's see one where maybe things are going bad. Should we look at manufacturing? So let's say Cadbury. Even Cadbury is going up. Maybe the whole market is going up. Let's look at the entire market and see. ESI. Actually, the entire market is bouncing back. If you look at this, you can see that the bearish trend is coming to a close. So it seems the entire market is even bouncing back. Okay. That's which company do I know is not doing well generally? Even UAC has been doing well. I bought into UAC and I've been enjoying some rally. Let's check UPDC.
Can we check Aeroton?
Check what?
Aeroton.
I'm not sure I know that one. Aeroton. How do I spell it?
EROTON.
ERO. Which company is that? Are you sure they are on this our Nigerian? This first time I'm hearing it. Stock exchange.
EROTON.
EROTON. I don't have them.
Oh, maybe it's not there. Which other company is not doing good?
Let me look.
Can we see the trend for SPDC?
Come on.
SPDC.
Share.
Yes.
No, it's not on the stock exchange.
No, but SPDC itself.
Hello, Michael. Check Africa Prudential Registrar.
Okay. African Prudential.
They've not been doing well for the last 2 quarters. Okay,
I'll check. I've seen one that is also not doing. This one is obviously you should not go and buy this one yet. If you want to wait out. So this is bulk gas. Okay. So let's go check the Afri Prudential. Afri, I think we are not far from it. Afri Prud. So let me narrow down to more recent time. So the price, it's not clear cut actually. It's been flat. So I can't say. If I go on this place, type Afri Prudential and see a larger set of signals. But from the moving average is like it's looking flat. So technical analysis. Wow, it's a silo. So you are right, they are not doing well. Almost everything is saying sell. Then why is my own low? Okay, why my own is, you see, for me in my own, I do two. I do this 50 days, 200 days, and 20 days. So because the 200 days is still saying buy, that's why my own is looking flat. So because they do a larger set of figures, they do a larger set of 5 days, 10 days, 10 days. So it made it very obvious that there's a lot more of sell. So it's a sell signal. So yes, I agree completely. If I'm into this, trying to buy this company, I will not buy now because this will not be a good time to buy. That's what this shows. So thank you very much. I think I have to end it so that we can go and prepare for my next. We have another session coming up for Excel. So in case you are someone interested in Excel, the person we had last week, boy, we had an issue, so she has to come back again this week. So let me just share with us. So if you're interested, Excel session at 4 p.m.
The same link.
The link is, if you use this link, I've shared, click it there. But I can give you the exact joining link. So this is the exact joining link. Okay. So thank you very, very much. I have to say bye-bye, and thanks for making it an interactive session today. Bye.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that contributed.
Thank you, Michael. You have so many finance reports on your laptop.